The worst layout for comedy ever.
You don't need a mic when you're talking to God, buddy.
You know, you only got so many bullets in the chamber to deal with people like that.
And then I got kind of sour and I got drunk.
Hey everyone, I'm Tyler Morrison. This is Tom O'Donnell. Welcome to The Main Offenders. We are back with another episode of pure degeneracy. I don't know. I think our first episode, we probably burned a lot of bridges already, so that's good.
Yeah.
We apologize to...
We're not going to be opening up for Whose Line Is It Anyway anytime fucking soon. Yeah.
Greg Proops, Tom, I think you felt pretty bad about calling him a gay poodle on the last episode.
No, I was up all night over it. It was just fucking,
not
comparing
nice.
him to pictures of poodles and stuff. I'm like, that's not what he looks like. Like, I was talking out of turn there.
There's this one comic that was talking shit. Well, he had a problem with Tom, I guess because Tom's got a bad reputation.
Yeah.
I was trying to get Tom, like, opening for me on this gig, and this guy goes, he's like, I don't want Tom O'Donnell on the gig. He's probably going to start a fight with someone. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like he's just out there picking fights.
He is. Yeah.
But then, so what? You had like a problem with him ever since then, I think. But what happened?
Who is it? Liam?
Yeah, Liam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've talked to Liam before, like after that, and he's had me on shows and stuff. I've had him on my shows. He's a good guy. Yeah, I think, people hear the broken telephone and like true stories that actually happened, and they judge you for that,
Yeah, and then one time you were like harboring this grudge against him, and just like with
Yeah, what did I call him again? Like he put out these new headshots, and I don't know if you guys are Looney Tunes fans or not out there, but he looked like Porky the Pig with a fucking toupee on. And so I said that to him, and I got 0 likes on it, but I got about 50 messages from comics saying that was the funniest spot-on fucking thing that they've ever heard in their life.
See, like Liam Kelly's a funny dude, and like he like makes fun of himself all the time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
People usually say he looks like a lesbian, and so he's used to that one. But I don't think he saw the Porky Pig with the toupee
the Porky Pig one was.
That was a little bit of a sidewinder.
That was a deep cut, and if you look at it, that's exactly what it fucking looks like.
Oh yeah, so. We'll throw it on the screen.
Yeah, we'll throw that on the screen. You guys can be the judge.
But he's a funny dude. He was just. We did a show a couple months ago together, and that was a lot of fun.
He used to. I did a show with him in Richmond Hill. And he used to go in and grease the tops of the fucking toilet seats so people couldn't go in and do lines during the show. And I'm like, you're concerned that much? That you went out and bought fucking Vaseline and you're fucking... And if I'm going in there to do that and fucking find out that someone put Vaseline on top of the thing, they're getting fucking knocked out. The toupee's getting knocked off. Let me tell you about that.
Oh my god.
Porky's getting fried that night.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Like, what do you care? You booked the comedy show.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, how do you know if someone's? I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
I want to get him to. He can come on the show sometime.
Yeah,
he can come on the show sometime. So
we'll let him.
There was one time he was. He's up here where I live, and like I got a local bar that I used to like run shows at, and my buddy Matt owns the bar. Him and his dad own the bar, and so I just get a text message from Matt going, "Hey, there's some comedian in here, and he's snooping around about doing a show at the bar."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Well, who the fuck is it?" And he's like, "Oh, it's this guy Liam Kelly." I'm like, "What the fuck is Liam Kelly doing
up in
at my venue in my small town? Like, there's no reason to be in there. Like, you could just ask me. Like, I'd put you on, dude."
No, exactly.
And so I guess and then maybe this is a broken telephone. I don't know, but I'll tell you.
I might not have known. Who knows?
So I get that text. I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, when he goes to, I'm like, is he drinking? He's like, yeah. I'm like, is he eating? He's like, yeah. I'm like, when he's done, when he goes to pay his bill, Tell him Mr. Morrison has it covered.
Ooh.
So I'm pulling like a fucking.
That's like a gangster fucking move, eh?
I'm being such an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing a show with this guy. I guess like a couple months ago. It was in February. And he comes in, he's like, "Hey, man, I just want to thank you for that meal." Like, he just totally didn't get any type of violent message from me. He's just like, "Man, Tyler's a nice guy."
Yeah. Drove all the way to Bracebridge, got fucking free fish and chips. Look at that.
And it's because he is the nicest guy.
Yeah,
like, he probably wasn't trying to fuck
Yeah.
me around,
No.
right? But, like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting the message that the guy's trying to, like, come into my venue and try and fuck me out of it. So I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, he's just like such a good dude. But like we're always in the wrong every time.
No, exactly. It's not like we're gonna go down to Richmond Hill and fucking try to snake his gig at fucking Shoeless Joe's or
St.
something
Louis,
like that.
St. Louis Bar and Grill.
Bar and Grill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I won't go back there. Last time I was at St. Louis, I was trying to do the coke off the back of the toilet, and
some asshole with fucking Vaseline all over.
It reminded me of when I was a kid and I go to my uncle's place. There's Vaseline all over my lip. What the fuck is this? Just really triggered me for some reason, right? Just started having a flashback.
Yeah. That's weird now. Like all these fucking like restaurant chains, like shows are popping up at them, and it's so fucking strange. Like doing comedy out of Montana's.
Oh yeah,
like Jesus Christ.
Well,
like,
in Canada, for the American listeners, if there's any,
because
I'm sure there's so many.
Yeah.
They do shows sometimes at like Boston Pizza, which is it's not from Boston. It's a Canadian chain called Boston Pizza. It has nothing to do.
Boston's not even known for their fucking pizza. Why the fuck would they call it that?
Because the pizza sucks, probably.
Yeah.
But it's like it's the worst layout for comedy ever.
Oh, it's just ridiculous.
And so like one of the comics just goes, "You know what? How about we just stand on one of the tables? Because it's all booths. Like you can't see it." So he stands on the table.
Yeah, you pretty much have to be on the fucking ceiling in there to fucking for anyone to see you.
Yeah, like some of those chains, it just doesn't work. They don't have the right layout. You got to find the right layout for stand-up.
Yeah, comedy. Do you want to do stand-up in the Denny's? Like, no, not really. People slapping down eggs over my fucking hammies and listening to you? I don't think so.
Oh man, yeah, Waffle House just get punched out.
Yeah,
that's a great place to catch a.
Did I tell you the one gig I did? I did a gig one time at 8 a.m.
That's not a good time for
like
comedy.
This. It was some sort of like Lions Club or some shit like that, and go in. And they told me beforehand, like, yeah, just go up and do what you do. There's no restrictions, blah, blah, blah. They fucking said a prayer before I fucking went up on stage.
They'd be saying a fucking prayer after, right?
It's like, what the fuck? Like, some of the people that book you on these things, it's like, like, you see, then the guy had seen me before. Like, at what point you think this would be a good idea to bring in at 8 a.m. during breakfast?
8 a.m.
Yeah. Like,
what
the fuck?
And you took that gig.
Yeah, fuck.
How much?
Paid $200. I got to take the day off fucking work. Why not?
Yeah,
who cares?
I mean, and this is how long ago?
It was probably like 2 or 3, like right before the pandemic.
Oh yeah. And
it was weird.
It's in town. I don't know if I'd want to do stand up that early for a.
It was really.
What
weird,
was the
man.
restaurant?
It was at the Whopper where the Yuck Yucks used to be.
Oh,
the
okay.
Upstairs, yeah.
Yeah.
Some guy would come out to the show and thought, yeah, that's a good idea.
They always think it's a good idea. There's so many gigs I've tried and talk them out of. I'm like, oh, no, you don't want this.
You wouldn't want this. Yeah.
Well, there was the one, and...
The one we did with Van Castren.
Oh, my God. Oh. Yeah, we can tell that story. This is maybe... This is one of the worst gigs that I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible.
So they book us for this show, and it's at a resort in Grand Bend, Ontario, near London, Ontario.
It's a really nice place, actually.
Beautiful resort. Like, I highly recommend it. We go down there, and our buddy Craig Van Castren booked the gig, and he has a cottage down there. So he was like, oh, this will be great. You know, Tommy and Tyler and Hunter can come down and do, we can all like do a show and then party at the cottage after, that sounds like a sweet idea to me, and it was paying real nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
they always pay really nice too, these shitty fucking gigs.
And the notes on the gig was, you can say whatever you want, just please don't swear. Just don't swear. Like, oh, that's easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time down, I'm just reworking Tommy's act for him because Tommy doesn't have anything.
I always swear.
Like, nothing clean at all. And so I'm like, okay, you got to switch this word. You got, take this out and just swap it with this and it'll work.
Yeah.
Well, we go in there. It's a beautiful ballroom. It's all set up. The sound and lights and stage, everything's perfect for comedy. It's all seated properly. Everyone's tight enough to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can fault them for on the production level of the show, which usually there's fuck ups on that end.
Yeah.
But on this one, there was no mistakes. It was just the production quality was just fine. They do the company awards, and
which is a huge mistake.
It's a big. You can tell kind of what this company is if you're watching the awards.
They're just sucking the boss's dick the whole time. Everyone was going up there. And and he's sitting there just fucking loving it.
Oh yeah,
fucking just bathing in it.
It's like a fucking cat purring.
Yeah.
This guy was a dickhead too.
Yeah, he was a fucking douche.
I hate this guy. To this day, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
But he probably hates us too.
Oh, so yeah, he did.
We made sure of that.
He fucking hated us.
But this dude, he's up there and like he's like doing the company awards and he's showboating up there.
Yeah.
And he's going
not realizing that people are only fucking laughing at him and like going along with it because he's the boss, right?
He's the boss, but he's like this person started their career with our company in 1987, the same year Sidney Crosby was born. I
googled that.
Yeah. and they're eating it up. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna be good for us.
This is fucking terrible. Yeah.
This isn't gonna be good, boys. So Craig goes up and he starts doing his set, and they're stonewalling him. They're not liking anything Craig's doing.
Yeah.
But then he goes into this one bit where he does sort of like
it was like around Christmas too, wasn't it, or something? It was like a Christmas bit.
He does a bit that's based on
Jingle Bells or something.
No, the 12 Days of Christmas. But it's a juxtaposition between small town news and the news in the city. So he talks about how boring small town news is, and then he goes, so then you go to the city and it's just like 12 bloody stabbings, and he just goes like on like all the numbers and all these different examples, and it's funny, and he gets a big applause break and they love it. And so then he brings you on, and Tom goes up and shockingly does pretty good with this crowd. Tom has the best set of the night, bar none. But Tom's dirty still, and by the end of his act, he's running out of cleaner stuff. He starts trying to push the limits a little bit, and you
they're
can tell
like,
them,
"Ease up, fat boy, ease up."
their assholes just puckering right up. They're
puckering.
Like, enough's enough. You could tell they're like, "All right, buddy, get off."
Yeah.
So Tommy gets off. Craig goes back up. Craig starts doing his act, and he's shucking and jiving up there.
Yeah.
They don't want any more of Craig, and Craig just fizzles out. Like it just doesn't go.
Yeah.
And they're not laughing at all. And he's been on long enough that he has to bring up the next act. He's not getting blood from this stone. Yeah. So he brings up Hunter, and Hunter's hilarious. Hunter Collins is a fucking funny dude.
Very funny comedian.
And he comes up to fumes and really getting these guys going. It's like, when you're pull starting your lawnmower and it just won't go? Then you're sweating up there, and it's just, like you're so mad.
Like, you just see Hunter like snap and be like, "Fuck it."
So
he just starts doing his act like he normally.
But it's just not going, and I got to do 40 minutes here with these people, and I'm far more offensive than probably anyone on the show, really. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I got to go out and just go through my set and see how I can clean this up a little bit, because I just know it's not going to happen. Well, by the time I come back into the room, everything's bad. It's worse. They're hating him, and he's
starting to get mad.
He's turning on this crowd
mad too.
Hunter Collins.
You see his fucking face, like he's like
Hunter Collins, one of the funniest comedians, in the country. He's great.
Yeah.
But he has a snap show temper. We started out together. We used to live together. I know when Hunter fucking flips. You used to be a drummer in a band. The drumsticks are going flying.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
getting hit.
He's gonna get mad, and he fucking snapped.
Yeah.
I walk into him going. I just hear someone yell, "Go back to Montreal." 'Cause that's where he's from, and he just goes, "You know what? Fuck you, people. I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing my whole fucking time. You can go fuck yourselves." And then he just starts going into like some edgier, dirty shit, and they are hating it.
Yeah.
And I still gotta go on. And I see this little old man who booked the show. This little fat guy. He comes just beelining across the room,
and he looks like he's like about to cry.
Oh yeah, he looked like Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, yeah.
Diabetes.
Yeah.
And he comes flying across, and he's begging me. He's like, "Please, please, they want to leave."
He was like the Smithers of the company. And up, Mr. Burns is there.
He's like they're trying to leave. Like people are putting their coats on. You have to do something. Like this guy is shitting his pants because someone's probably getting fired on Monday, and he.
Oh yeah,
the project manager.
He's in the fucking crosshairs for sure.
Yeah, him and this lady, and I'm going. Oh man, I feel bad for the guy. Like my stomach is sick for him because I know what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, "You gotta work clean up there." I'm like, "Listen, I'm gonna do a clean set. I'm gonna try and clean up the table here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do my best, okay?" Hunter, all of a sudden I just hear, and this is a pretty religious crowd is what I'm picking up on, and I just hear him go, "To all the Christians in the room tonight." I'm like, oh no. It's like, in public school when you play that game Red Ass with like the tennis balls? You just stand at the wall just waiting for someone to whip a tennis ball at your ass. Just what's he going to say next?
Yeah.
He's like, "To all the Christians in the room tonight, Merry Christmas." The whole place just starts applauding. I'm like, "Okay, get off.
Yeah, good.
No, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
He's like, "To all the Jews in the room."
Yeah, all the Jews in the room.
And then they just go dead silent. Like you can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
He goes, "Happy Hanukkah." And hardly anyone claps, right?
Yeah.
Like one Jew in accounting.
Yeah, exactly.
He's doing the over the hand clap.
Yeah.
But then he's like, "To all the Scientologists in the room tonight, go fuck yourselves."
Yeah.
And then just walks off the stage.
Oh my god, and everybody just fucking
Oh, they're booing. Like, it's not good, right? Like, they're visibly upset. And I go to Craig. I'm like, "Craig, no, don't bring me up to any credits. Just get me on stage as fast as you can. Just bring me up right away."
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Hunter's coming off stage. I'm like, "Hunter, go start the fucking car."
Yeah.
I come on stage. I haven't even said anything yet. I just hear a guy in the crowd just yell, "Keep it short." And I'm thinking, that's exactly what I'm going to do, man. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
And so I look at the crowd and I go, "Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you I will not bomb tonight."
Yeah.
And so now I got their attention, right? They're like, "Who the fuck does this guy think he is?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "I also guarantee that the next thing I say is going to get an applause break from you people."
Yeah.
"Fine folks of Grand Bend, I am your last comedian of the evening." They just go crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they were cheering so loud. Like, no joke I could say would be better than that for them. They hated comedy so much. They wanted us out of there. And so the whole time I'm just like Black Diamond skiing on moguls, trying to not fucking offend them. I get out of, I think I probably got through 25, 30 minutes before I had to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And it was like, we got to go straight to the bank, cash the check.
Yeah, because they're canceling that fucking check for sure.
Yeah, it's not going to be nice on Monday. Someone's going down.
Yeah.
And they definitely were like getting hauled into the boss's office on Monday. I know from Craig was talking to the lady who booked it, and she was pissed.
Yeah.
And felt sick for them, right? But it was just one of those.
Should have sent them an email. Same time next year.
Sometimes you get those gigs that they shouldn't book you for, and for whatever reason, it just they're uncomfortable around their boss to laugh.
Yeah, they always look over at the boss, and if the boss isn't laughing, they're not gonna laugh.
It's some King Joffrey shit.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really fucking strange. I hate doing office fucking Christmas parties, man.
Well, you had one that I always loved. This made me laugh so hard because I heard it from a third party.
What's that?
And it was Nigel Grinstead, who's a comedian in Canada, was a really funny dude, was opening for you on a show, a corporate Christmas party for TD Bank in Canada, which is one of the big banks.
Yeah.
And like, there's no way Tom should be doing a
should
TD Bank corporate Christmas party. Like, it's insane. It's insane. You usually run shit by me.
Yeah.
I would have said absolutely not.
Well, that's why I didn't tell you. I knew you to tell me it was going to be a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a real bad idea. And so this guy goes up and he's
like, at first I told, like, I have a joke about Mennonites, and like, that always, no matter who you are, it always, like, that's a pretty across the board fucking joke. Did that, and I'm fucking killing. And I'm like, oh, these guys are cool. I'm fucking open up the floodgates here. Fucking, I'm getting, my phone starts ringing on. I never turn my phone. My phone starts ringing on stage. I answer it. It's the kid that booked me. He's like, get off the stage right now. They're going to shut the lights off. They want you off this fucking stage. Oh my God. They're like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, that was another one. I drove right to the fucking bank.
They're freaking out in the back. You gotta get off the stage.
Get off stage.
just because of the Mennonite joke.
No, the Mennonite joke did well. It was I did some other stuff after the Mennonite joke.
Okay.
That wasn't.
But you know what he said? You know what he says to these guys? He goes, "Fuck you." It's like he hangs up. He's like, "Fuck you. You want it clean? You should have booked Bill Cosby." And this is right after. This is right after Cosby first got busted, and his like. But he had just done a show in Kitchener Waterloo, like one of his last gigs where he was
before he got caught was in Kitchener Waterloo.
They're protesting it, and it was all over the news.
Yeah.
So, oh my God.
Yeah, that was fucking fun, man.
There's another one I got booked on one like that, but it was weird because it was an anything goes. Like the
people at booking it will say anything goes, but you gotta fucking flesh it out for yourself.
I've never seen
the TD Bank one. I should have fucking.
That was you, yeah.
Probably that was totally me, but
no. This guy. Okay, so this guy books me, and I guess we gotta get into the story. So. This guy books me, but he hits me up, and I didn't have an agent or manager, and I was just pretending to be this agent. Named John Carroll.
Yeah.
John Carroll was my fake agent, and it was just me, just negotiating deals. And I'll tell the full John Carroll story after I tell this, because we got to get into John Carroll's origin. But they booked me, and John Carroll is doing the negotiations, and it's this guy's secretary, and she's like, John, the guy who's booking me, his name is John. She's like, John's seen Tyler do comedy, and he loves him, and he wants him to come in and do an anything goes type show. John Carroll's like, are you sure this is what your boss would like? She goes, yes. He specifically says he would like Tyler to bring the Andrew Dice Clay, Louis C.K. level of filth to this engagement.
Yeah. Like, okay.
And John Carroll types back, oh yes, Tyler would love to bring the Louis C.K. Andrew Dice Clay level of filth to your engagement.
Yeah.
So I like negotiate this deal as John Carroll. I come in, it's a real estate company, and but
did you clarify that? Like, John Carroll is Tyler.
John Carroll is
and
me.
John Carroll.
Yeah, John. They don't know. Like, they don't know. But yeah, it was me as I was pretending to be my own agent.
Yeah.
This is a fucking asshole. And so I go in and I assess the situation. It's not good. It's everyone there is like 40 years and older, and this would have been about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not 10. Maybe like 8 or 7 years ago. It's before the pandemic for sure. But it was like everyone's 40 years old to like 70. And it's all real estate agents and shit. I'm looking around. I'm like, this isn't good. So I go over to John, the owner. I go, hey, buddy, I'm looking at your crowd, and I know you said you want the heavy artillery tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at them, and I think they might need something a little bit of a lower temperature.
Yeah.
You know, so I got a couple options. I don't care about the money. Like usually I'll charge more if I got to be clean, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, I can do a clean show across the board, which I think they enjoy, or I can start off a little bit cleaner and like warm them up into like a little bit of a, dirtier area. Just see how they go with it. He goes, fuck them.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they can leave.
Coolest boss alive.
I go, John, they're gonna fucking leave, dude. I
Yeah.
go, watch this, brother. So I just go up, and I'm still like, I want to win. I don't want to deep six this show. I want to make everyone's time good. I always want to be funny. Doesn't matter. I'm not just going out to be an edgelord to be that. Like it's fun to do edgy, dirty jokes, but I start off with a bit of a cleaner set, and I start warming them up, and I'm killing off the top. It was like what you said, like they're going with it. So
Yeah.
like, okay. But this one, like I don't have handcuffs. I just know what they want. So I'm killing so hard for the first 15 minutes where it's like I do the little fist pump in my head. I'm like, got these motherfuckers for the night.
Hey, yeah.
Like I'm just ringing it up. Hey, cha-ching, cha-ching. We're going in.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what joke it was, but I think it was a joke about drinking and driving that set them off. Like someone in that audience had a loved one that was killed by a drunk driver or whatever, because about 4 or 5 people got up and stormed out. And I just feel this weird vibe, like they were kind of important in the company and other people knew. And so they felt like they had to like get up and go too. So all of a sudden it's like, now we're at 15 people walking out and they're not happy.
Yeah.
And I just keep going. And then I see we're up to another 15. There's 100 people there. So I'm at 30 people walked out. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
So I just start doing the real act. And I'm going for my record, which was 50 people before. I'm going to beat 50 for sure. I'm already at 30. And I still got like 25 minutes to go, right? So I just fucking haul off. Next thing you know, we're up to 50, and it's nice. I'm like, I can get the rest of these fucks for sure. But I think I got to 70 people walked out.
How many people were there?
Out of 100. 70 out of 100.
That's a lot.
And it was like
pretty good.
in a small room too, like the way they're walking. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like an anonymous walkout at a club. Like, where there's 300 people and they can walk out the back and you don't even see them when you're on stage. I'm smiling at them walking out the door.
Yeah.
And the people that stayed were just scared to go. You know what I mean? They were just... But it was so wacky because the owner is sitting in the front row with his wife laughing like a psychopath. At everything
The show,
I
he
said.
should have just fucking hired you to come perform in his living room.
I know. He was like that dictator in The Last King of Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Idi Amin? Yeah. Is that...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and his wife is mortified.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I remember it was like some woman, I did some joke. And she goes, not funny. And I just look at her and go, not funny. I'm like, you don't like that one, babe? You're going to fucking hate this one, stupid. I just made sure I ramped it up. Yeah, they were going. At the end of the set, the entire kitchen staff came out and were banging their pots and pans and cheering. I took fucking selfies with the whole kitchen staff. They fucking loved
That's
it.
hilarious.
Oh,
what was
my
that
God.
one time that girl fucking was chirping you on stage? You called her a cunt, but you said, is it cunt or is it... What did you say again?
Oh, yeah, I said the word... I said about, and she was American, and she goes, about or a boot? And I look at her, I go, cunt or coont?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you have just that rapid fire Val Kilmer tombstone moment where you crush them, and that's like always sweet. That comes like,
Oh, I love those. The best one I ever had, I was fucking performing at this Irish pub, James Joyce. Did you ever perform at James Joyce in Toronto?
yeah.
I don't even know if it's still around.
No, my buddy headbutted a guy there, though.
Yeah, it was that kind of
I got
fucking
kicked out of there.
that kind of spot for sure. But I was up on stage. Our buddy there, Ryan Horwood, used to run an open mic there, so I went out to do it. And I'm up on stage, and there's this fucking guy sitting in the front row, and he's just fucking covered from head to toe in dog hair. And I go up from the minute I fucking step on stage, he's just fucking chirping at me. You know what I mean? And fucking I'm like, oh, fuck. So I finally looked at it, and I'm like, what, were you like fucking a German Shepherd before you came in here tonight? Like, why are you covered in fucking dog hair? I fucking set him off. He comes fucking at me on stage or whatever. I grab the mic stand. Before I could fucking hit him with it, Horwood just fucking tackles this guy out of fucking nowhere. And then fucking they're kicking him out of the bar and stuff. And he's like, my bag, my bag. I pick up his bag and I just fucking feel there's a bunch of bottles in there. I open it up. He had brought a bunch of beers and fucking whiskey in with him. So I walked out in the middle of the street and I threw it as high as I fucking could up in the air. It came down and smashed. Then I just see him walking down the street and all the beer's leaking down his fucking leg. Got you, fucker.
Yeah, sometimes the people that, you know, try and ruin the shows, they deserve to be publicly embarrassed. Sometimes it's like, okay, they just had a few too many drinks. They're okay. Like, they're not bad people. They're just, you know, they think that they're part of it, but they're not really malicious about it.
Yeah.
It's the ones that you can tell are malicious about the heckling. That's like, we need to make an example of them.
Yeah.
There was one in Niagara Falls at Yuck Yucks at the comedy club there. And Niagara Falls is, you know, tourist town, so people get pretty fucked up on those late shows. But Dave Burke was opening, Jarrett Campbell was hosting, and I'm coming on last. And Burke is getting heckled by this guy, and Burke was like kind of playing him, you know, a little too soft.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was because he wasn't headlining, he didn't want to ruin the show for me. But it's me. I'm like, ruin the fucking show. I fucking love when we ruin the show. Like, this guy needs to go down. He's being a prick, right? So I know that because it wasn't like fully handled, that this guy's going to come for me now. So he's going to try some shit now. So I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for it. And everything's set's going good. The crowd's into it. I'm killing. And then all of a sudden I hear this guy say something. And I was talking about my kids. So he said something that was like, that's like malicious. Like, you're trying to be rude and offensive.
You did a joke about your kids and
then
he fucking said something?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, now it's fucking time, right? And I know the crowd hated this guy because they didn't. I could tell they didn't like it during Burke's set that this guy was interrupting the show.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now I got to do something. But I start talking to him. I'm like, hey, dude, what's your fucking problem? I'm like, what? What's your name? He's like, oh, Randy. I'm like, okay, well, what do you do? He was a trailer park supervisor. So I know he's giving me bullshit information. He's pretending to be Randy from Trailer Park Boys. So he's not giving me real info that I can actually make fun of that can hurt him.
Yeah.
So those people are usually dead ends. And if you can move on, like if you're just doing the room at the start as the host and talking to people about their birthdays and someone's giving you some bullshit like that, you just move off of them because there's nothing there. But if it's this guy who's trying to ruin the show and everyone wants him to go down, you have to somehow get him. But he's sitting off in the dark, like in the wings. In Niagara Falls, you cannot see the people on your right-hand side. On stage right, you can't see where they are. Like, it's pretty dark in there. So I'm like, how do I get to this guy? And I'm thinking about maybe just moving off of him, but I can feel that crowd hating that I'm about to move off. And so if I move off from him, I'm gonna lose all their respect. So now I have to go back in. I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get to him? So I'm like, hey man, do you always embarrass the people that you come out with in public? Do you do this all the time? And then and I go, who you with tonight? He goes, my uncle. I'm like, oh, that's who molested you.
No.
Crowd goes fucking nuts because they just wanted this guy to go down, right?
Yeah.
And it was just, once that happened, I just start leaning in, and him and whoever he was with, they stormed out of the room, and I walked these guys out, which is so nice, like just to see them running.
Yeah.
Just when they flee, that feels so good.
Because the uncle's not going to sit there after you call him a fucking diddler, right?
No, he's fucking off.
That's the end of it.
So it just, but those people, yeah, you got to hit them hard, and like you got to find whatever you can to hurt them.
I've had hecklers win, too. I was in Bob Cajun the one time, and this
It's the worst.
chick called me a fat fuck no less than 72 times. When when I was up on stage. It was fucking brutal, man. And like just like I get to a punch. It's like the bitch knew my fucking act and was like she would like save it for like when I was about to do a punchline. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like, and I'm fucking sweating. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what to fucking do. I was a younger comic that and stuff too. And then I get off and fucking the guy who booked it, he's like, well, I think you could have been a little bit better up there, buddy.
Oh.
And I'm like, why don't you tell the fucking cunt that was fucking calling me a fat fuck the whole time, you know? That like, and he just they never kicked her out. They just let her, that's Tammy, you know, she gets drunk and does whatever she wants, you know, and fucking small town bullshit. But, yeah, and then the fucking booker, the guy who booked me on the show, the comedian or whatever, got like a negative fucking response to me on being on the show and shit.
Yeah.
And then never booked me on anything again.
Who's the booker?
Brian
Hope.
Brian Hope. Yeah.
Fuck
you,
Brian
Hope. Fucking piece of shit.
If you're watching, because we know you are, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
You're
Brian.
an enemy of the fucking main offenders now.
That's right, buddy.
Yeah.
You're toast.
I think he works at a fucking Holiday Inn Express now anyway. So
Brian Hopeless.
that's a hell. But yeah, can you imagine if I was a fucking chick and that happened to me? I have my own fucking talk show, for fuck's sakes.
Oh my god. I did that gig too. I did that Brian Hope gig in Bob Cage, and I thought I did okay, and then he gave me the same. Heard it didn't go so well.
Heard it didn't go so well for
fuck you, Brian Hope. How's it going for you now?
Yeah.
It's going pretty good for us. We're up here in my fucking shed. Talking mad shit.
Yeah.
You know, we don't let stuff roll off our
Go
backs.
do another fucking marathon. Post that on Facebook.
I like Brian Hope. He's a pretty good guy. Brian's a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
He's always been good to me.
Pretty nice guy, yeah.
Fuck Bob Cajun and the Tragically Hip.
Yeah. Gord Downey was a cunt anyway. No. Fucking artistic cunt. That's why I didn't make it in the States. Sing about pussy more. Fucking dickhead.
Sacrilegious.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tim Steves would have fucking hated that right there.
Oh, he'd fucking kill us. Tim
Steves is gonna blow my fucking tire up on the way home because of that one.
Yeah, Tim Steves is one of the best comics ever from Canada. He passed away. Rest in peace, Tim
Rest in
Steves.
peace,
We
Tim.
love Timmy. You know what? Fuck this. This episode's a little too long, so guess what? If you want the rest of it, you can go over to our Patreon and subscribe, okay? We don't just do this shit out of the kindness of our hearts. We need your fucking money, baby. So check it out. You can check it out early on Patreon. If not, we're going to throw it out next week. You can check that shit, but you guys are gonna have to wait, you cheap little pricks.